Week 11 is here, and the Miami Dolphins are hosting, I almost said the Oakland Raiders, but it's Las Vegas. Let's talk about this. What is up, Fin fans? We're talking Las Vegas Raiders heading to Miami to take on the Dolphins. Got a lot to talk about. Injury report, roster moves. There's a lot of things that are going on up and down, left and right. So without me rambling on too much, let's jump into this and let's talk injury report. And we're going to start with the away team. And you got here the Raiders. They have three guys that are questionable in tackle, Colton Miller, in guard, Dylan Parham. Couldn't even get that out. And safety, Roderick Teamer. Other than that, it seems like everyone's good to go. You had some limits from Max Crosby, Marcus Peters, and Greg Van Roten. Roten? Is it Rotten or is it Roten? Everyone else was full practice. So that is theirs. And then you look at the Miami Dolphins. And we have three out. Chase Claypool had a minor procedure on his knee. He's going to be week to week. Horrible to hear. And then our two offensive interior linemen, and Robert Hunt and Robert Jones, are out. Other than that, you have Devon Achane, who most likely is going to play. Braxton Berrios, most likely going to play. Alec Ingold, most likely going to play. And Durham Smythe, most likely going to play. Other than that, everyone is good to go and ready to play. I will say this about Hunt and Jones. From what I'm hearing, Liam Eichenberg is going to be playing right guard, and Lester Cotton is going to be playing left guard. Liam Eichenberg said he is more comfortable playing right guard. Still makes me incredibly nervous. We're facing a Raiders team with Max Crosby mostly on the right side. So hopefully Austin Jackson can, do his thing like he's been doing all season and kind of put some of these pass rushers in their place. But that is the injury report. Nothing really worries me. I'm happy to have Achane back. Like I said, we moved on from Robbie Chosen. We waived Robbie Chosen. We're probably going to activate Devon Achane off of the IR soon. I don't think it has happened yet. If it has, I do apologize. But I don't think it's happened yet. And probably going to happen tomorrow. But they have moved on from Robbie Chosen. Might bring him back on the practice squad or not at all. Really hasn't been that big of an impact on the team. Hasn't really been able to get past the wide receivers that are ahead of him. So that is the injury report. Now let's talk about BetUS, because like I say, they always give me some really cool prop bets. So real quick, let's hear from BetUS.
BetUS, America's favorite sports book, where you can bet on everything anytime. Sportsbook, casino, horse racing, live betting, and more. We have the best bonuses in the industry. That's right, get a 125% sign-up bonus. And to celebrate our 30-year anniversary, we are giving up to 30 risk-free bets, a truck, Super Bowl tickets, and more. Don't miss out. Play smart. Join now. BetUS, where the game begins.
Thank you so much to BetUS. Again, be sure to go check them out. You get 125% of your first deposit. My brain just didn't want to work there. Very fast payouts too, within 24 hours. So not like you win and then you got to wait a week to get it. Nope, within 24 hours, one of the fastest payouts out there. Go check them out. And again, BetUS has sent us some really cool odds, which they do. They have prop bets and they have odds. And these are some of the ones I find interesting. Tua Tagovailoa passing touchdowns. Over 1.5, under 1.5. Obviously, you could see that they expect him to have more than 1.5 touchdowns, being that it's a negative 201. And then you have over here Tyreek Hill receiving yards. The odds are that he will have over 91.5 versus under 91.5. I'm going over. We're going to talk more about it, but that secondary of the Raiders is kind of really banged up. So again, BetUS, thank you so much for sponsoring the video, and go check them out. Link is in the description or pinned as the top comment. 125% fast payouts, one of the best betting sites out there. But please do bet responsibly. You're going to jump into Le Breakdown We're going to start with the Dolphins offense versus their defense. So you see here, we got a lot of ones. Total offense, number 1. Passing offense, number 1. Rushing, we're now tied for 2nd. Scoring offense, number 1. Sacks allowed, 3rd. Don't allow a lot of sacks. 3rd down offense, 16th. Not great, but not bad. 39.6. And giveaways, we were tied for 15th with 13 giveaways. And then you look at their defense. Total defense, 18th. Passing defense is not bad, 8th. I think a lot of that has to do with Max Crosby and him being able to get to the quarterback quick. You see their rushing defense is 29th. 5 things. Keep that in mind. Scoring defense is 13th. Sacks is 13th. They have 26 on the season, so they're tied for 13th. 3rd down defense is not good. It's 27th, and their takeaways aren't great either. It's 20th tied. Only 11 takeaways on the season. And then you look at the Miami Dolphins defense versus their offense. Dolphins defense is so much better than the first 4 weeks of the season. We have a 12th total defense. We have a top 15 defense. 13th in passing, 13th in rushing. Scoring needs to get a little bit better. We're 26. We're 9th in sacks. We are 3rd down. We're 12th in 3rd down defense, and takeaways, we are 27th. Got to bring that up, but I think the fact that we're getting more healthy and these guys are buying into the defense a little bit more, the turnovers are coming. But the Miami Dolphins have the number 1 offense and the number 12 defense. If they could keep that going, this team is incredibly dangerous. We are facing the 31st total offense, passing offense 23rd, rushing offense 30th, scoring offense 27th, sacks allowed 22nd, 25 sacks allowed. 3rd down offense is 29th, and giveaways is 29th. They have 18 giveaways. So the offense is not good for the Raiders, and the Dolphins defense is just getting better. So that's very awesome to hear. And obviously we're going to look more in depth on that as we get into the PFF of it all. So this is the Miami Dolphins offense versus their defense. You see here Eichenberg and Cotton being here makes me worried, but again, we get Armstead and Connor Williams back and Jackson. I don't feel like Jackson gets enough credit for how well he's playing. You know, this PFF grade bothers me a little bit. 2 is the 5th quarterback. Mostert is the 3rd running back. You have the number 1 wide receiver. Waddle's getting up there, number 9. Wilson, that's most likely that's most likely going to be Barrios or Craycraft. And then you look at their defense. You got Crosby here. He's a menace. Got to keep an eye out on him. Other than that, I'm not saying they're bad. Nothing compared to Crosby. Their safeties aren't too good. Their corners are not bad, especially Marcus Peters over here. But again, secondary is a little beat up. And then their linebackers, Spillane. He had that great interception versus the Jets. Picked that one off. But I like our offense versus their defense. And then if we flip it over here, just come up here, you go, kaplow, you flip it. Our defense has gotten so much better. Jalen Ramsey, I don't know why he's not ranked, but he's got an 80 overall PFF grade. You got Chubb is doing his thing. Wilkins is doing his thing. Phillips got the number 1 safety. Elliott's coming in. Long Jr., Howard, I think he's doing better. And then you look at their offense. Devontae Adams is a problem. Jacobs is a problem. Outside of that, Miller, good left tackle. Got to get after O'Connell. Talk about that. Renfro, surprised he's as low as he is. And Mayer, they don't have Darren Waller anymore. But looking at the PFF, I really like the way our defense stacks up against their offense and our offense against their defense. But let me go more into that. And by that, I mean, let's talk about the 5 things the Miami Dolphins need to do if they want to beat this Raiders team. Again, no specific order. I literally changed 4 and 5 because I was doing more research, and I was like, let me change 4. I think it's more of this. And I had something for 5. Let me put something else here as I did more of my research. But the number 1 thing on my list, you got to sack O'Connell. Got to get after him. Like I showed in that graphic, 11th in sacks. They've been sacked 25 times. The Miami Dolphins are up there in sacks. You got to get after him. I don't want to bash somebody, but he's not that great of a quarterback. You got to get after him. You got to make him uncomfortable. You got to get some sacks. Take over on defense. Now, you made Patrick Mahomes uncomfortable. You had a strip sack. You were in his face. Again, the whole second half, did not score a point. Transfer that over to the Raiders. The Raiders aren't as good as the Chiefs. Shut them down on offense. Make them one-dimensional. And then eat up when they're one-dimensional. So get after O'Connell and sack him. The number 2 thing on my list, don't abandon the run. We got down to the 31-yard line on 2 runs with Raheem Mostert, and they stopped running. They ran 4 plays, and they were all passing. I honestly think if they ran the ball, say first down, they pass it. I'm fine with that because obviously we ran twice. They're expecting a run. I'm fine with that. Second down, run the ball. You get closer. You get the first down. Okay, cool. Fresh set of downs. You're even closer now. You're on the 21. You can mess around, do what you want. Eat the clock up so the Chiefs didn't get the ball back and we win the game or tie the game. I would have went for 2. But the Miami Dolphins facing the second worst run defense. Don't abandon the run. I know we want Tua to be the number 1 passer in yards. We want Tyreek Hill to have 2,000. We want all that stuff. We want to win. So don't abandon the run. If it's working, work it. And obviously you throw in some PA in there. Throw some play action. Have Tyreek go up the seam. Have Waddle do a crossing route. Have that combination where, who you going to take? Who you going to take? And then play action it. Flip, bam, drop back. Ooh, I have my choices. Of course. But don't abandon the run if it's working, especially if you're in a tight situation, which hopefully we're not in a tight situation. Number 3 thing on my list is clean football. Obviously, if we played clean football, I honestly think we would have beat the Chiefs. Too many penalties, too many fumbles, too many bad snaps, too many misreads. All of these things led to the Dolphins losing to the Chiefs. The Chiefs didn't beat the Dolphins. The Dolphins beat the Dolphins. The fumble with Tyreek Hill, I still don't think it was a fumble. The penalties that killed us when we were on their side of the field marching. The bad play calling. A lot of this stuff needs to be cleaned up because if you start facing those teams, especially in the playoffs, you need to play that clean football. And now's the time to do it against, again, I knock on wood, inferior opponents. Raiders aren't as good as the Dolphins. And it is what it is. This is where you continue to beat teams that were under 500 or at 500. This is where you continue to do it and continue to build on your win-loss record. So play some clean football. Number 4, home field advantage. The Miami Dolphins have a crazy home field advantage. When they're home, they score 43.5 points per game. And they allow 18.6 points per game, and they score 24 touchdowns at home. The Raiders on the road, 14 points per game. They allow 26.8 points per game, and they only score 8 touchdowns. Plus, last time the Raiders played there, they were on the away side, wearing their black jerseys, because we are going to wear our white jerseys. It's a given, just roasting. People are like, that's an unfair situation. It's also unfair when the Dolphins have to go play in Buffalo in December, or when they have to go play in Baltimore in December, and it's cold, and they're used to it and the Dolphins aren't, or when it's loud in Seattle. It's home field advantage for a reason. Plain and simple. And you're going from the West Coast to the East Coast. Take advantage of that home field advantage. You're 4-0 at home this year. I think with Tua and Mike McDaniel, they've only lost 2 home games. Continue the home field advantage. And my 5th and final thing, stop the run. Normally I have this higher. But again, I was doing my research. I actually was going to say don't get trapped, but that kind of, goes into the clean football and stuff like that. This could be considered a trap game. They're on a 2-game winning streak, but I'll go more into that when my prediction. But Josh Jacobs he's a good running back, and he was torching up that Jets defense, and that Jets defense is very good. So don't get lost and don't lose it on the run. Make it one-dimensional, and then it goes back into the number 1, which is sack O'Connell. All coincides. Big old circle. We go back to the beginning. But his biggest game was the last 2 weeks, and again, one of them was against a very good defense. He got to stop the run. Now my prediction on this game. The Miami Dolphins really need to focus on Jacobs and Devontae Adams. Those 2 guys are the primary part of their offense, and if you could shut them down and if you can contain them, it'd be huge into getting this win. and shutting down their offense. And then on the flip side, you really got to focus on Max Crosby. He can make our day a living hell if he's constantly getting pressure, because then all of a sudden we are not able to push the ball down the field. That's where all of a sudden those screenplays come in, and that's where the bubble screens and the short routes, and everyone starts to get mad at Tua, even though it's a concept change because he's got no time to let plays develop. That being said, the Miami Dolphins should win this game. And the Miami Dolphins should win this game by double-digit score. Like I told you, the Miami Dolphins are scoring 43.5 points per game at home, and the Raiders are allowing 26.8 points per game. The Miami Dolphins are allowing at home 18.6 points per game, and the Raiders are scoring 14 points per game at home. So the Miami Dolphins should win this game by double digits, and I think they will. I don't think they'll shut the Raiders out, but I think the Dolphins will win 31-10, and I think that they will get back into the groove, and it's a short week on Black Friday. We have to go take on the Jets, which I think is a very important game in the aspect of not only continuing your success, but the division. So I have the Dolphins winning this game big, 31-10. Stay hot, stay focused. I love the one thing that Xavier Howard said about being on Hard Knocks, and he said that we haven't earned anything. Keep that mentality. Say they win the next 5 games and they go to 11-3, and say they do clinch the playoffs or they clinch the AFC East title before the Christmas Eve game against the Cowboys. Still keep that mentality. You haven't earned anything. Cool, you clinch the AFC East, you got to go win a playoff game. It's a lot of things are going to coincide. So take care of business, beat the Raiders. Short week, get ready to go on to face the Jets. Speaking of short week, next week's videos are going to be just jam-packed on top of each other, because I have to give you a film breakdown, I have to give you the picks, the preview, and I have to give you the power rankings and the deeper dive. I got to get 5 videos in 4 days. It's going to be crazy. Absolutely crazy. But I'll see you guys on Sunday at 1 o'clock. Miami Dolphins hosting the Raiders. Let's get this W and let's continue the success. But like usual, stay classy. Offense out.